back to Dyson Sphere program. My name is Pooks, and tonight we will be doing some graphene. That's right, last episode we discovered that this grey stuff here we're running out of. I know it looks like it's backed up here, but ultimately our imports is where it's falling down. Got 4,000 incoming, but that's not gonna really be enough. So we're gonna make things better. We're going to improve that situation. Partially because it's actually really affecting my blue belt production. Quite badly. It's quite impactfully. Is that the word? That's not a word. Surely it's not a word. Having said that, we will just fill up on the blue belts that we do have available. But normally every time I go back to that box, it's completely full. And this makes me sad when it's not completely full, so we can't have me being sad. Now, we also have Mark II sorters. Not sure why we have Mark II sorters, but okay. Pick up some of those. While we're here at the mall, we gotta get some things for what we're about to do. And what we're gonna do is go to our acid planet and expand out things there. Now, I'm gonna want a few things for this. I'm gonna want some more of these guys. We're gonna ramp that up beyond belief. Just get rid of the odd number as well. Oh yeah, we've got some solar panels. Gonna boost that up a little bit more. And we'll boost up the amount of batteries that we've got as well. Batteries here. Cool. Finally, I think I do want a few more. How are we doing on logistics? Might just grab some more drones. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. Alright, yeah, so graphene is our problem here at the moment, and it's particularly causing problems in our Casimir crystal production. So we're nowhere near up to speed here. It's starting to get a bit better now that I either emptied out the hydrogen, but yeah, still not enough there. Still not enough, and as a result of that Casimir crystal downfall, I guess you could say, our rockets aren't producing as fast. We ain't making those rockets fast enough. Interestingly enough, we seem to be still keeping up with this. Maybe I've made some miscalculations on those. Anyway, that's another problem. And of course, all this while, we are still launching rockets. That hasn't stopped. It's just not as fast as it should be. So the rockets are still going out. Our Dyson Sphere is still being produced, and that is a good thing. A very good thing. I wonder if that's see-through on that angle. Yeah, it looks a bit see-through. Cool. But to do our graphene factory, we are going to be going to, I think it's Murphak. Yeah, Murphak. And specifically, we're going to acid land to produce all this, because the normal recipe for graphene, which is this one here, requires graphite and acid. Now, we do have, ooh, actually, you know what I do need to get before I head there? I need to get a few more arc smelters. Could have been frustrating. I was going to say bad, but not really bad. It's just annoying. So we'll drop those off. We don't really need them. And we'll instead replace it with a few arc smelters. If you want to fill up, why not? Okay. We're ready ready to go. Let's make the journey. Hang on. This is a little bit awkward. How about we just can we yeah. Yeah, so in the last stream, pardon me. In the last stream we headed out to Neptune Scooby and made a huge deuterium factory. So now this means that this solar system is actually going to be producing a whole heap of our... Oh, hang on. I think I want it back to acid land. There you are. Come back. Hey. Yeah, in the last episode we made a whole heap of whatchamacallit, deuterium production. We ramped that up beyond belief. That was, devoting an entire planet to that production, and I think it worked pretty well. So I'm hoping that we'll do a similar sort of situation here. Basically, we're gonna ramp things up, make it huge on this planet alone. I'm surprised. Our acid demand must be quite high for this to be the case here. For it to make even a dent in these things, or not to be full by now, because set this up ages ago. Okay. Oh well, that's good. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it's good, maybe it's bad, I don't know. All I know now is that we want to grab this kind of pattern here, grab an even square, use that now, and just start putting it down. Because we're going to need power, and this is going to be our power supply. I'm just going to keep putting down this pattern, see how far we get. Just like do one here maybe? Oh, that's unfortunate. Oh well, we'll just keep patterning it out to the right here. Yeah, that's where we'll start running out. Alright. So yeah, we're ramping up the power here somewhat. Because we will need power for all this. I mean, our generation is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous already, but ridiculous for what we're using. Really, all we're doing there is supplying pumps, but what we're about to do is a bit more. And I want to make sure we're prepared. Not to mention all the soil pile I get from actually placing down all this stuff. Look at it. Amazing. We're doing it over these kind of magma pile-y things. It'll be very handy later on when we need to fill in oceans. Yeah, 135% we get on these ones. Excellent. Alright, and there's some acid right there, so how about we make a pumping station here actually. Now we do have 11 water pumps, which are also acid pumps. They can do both, just pumping stations. up. Power. Go. Probably need here-ish. Here-ish. That'll probably work. Yeah, one there. That'll work. Oh, alright. Now, what's our pattern gonna be here? All my veins are over there. We've got this big open, yeah, the big open space is kind of calling to me. And there's not too many oceans in the way, so yeah, that's looking pretty good over here. All right. Cut it off, say around here. Ah, now I'm left with a dilemma. Do I leave this open, or do I just, bridge over this? I'm thinking I bridge over it. There's got to be other planets where I can get acid from, so I'm gonna make this step of doing this. Maybe it's a bad idea, but it is my bad idea to do. Alright. So let's design a graphene factory here. Now we will need two things. We're gonna need coal, which we'll need to import, or graphite, which we'll need to import more specifically. And we'll need obviously acid for this. So let's assume that we're going to import graphite, not coal, and we'll build out the production of graphite on another planet. And in fact, the planet that I'm thinking is going to be America Wants Oil, because that has 18 million coal, which is beautiful for this kind of work. It also has a lot of oil, in case you're wondering why I called it America Wants Oil, or America Wants to Invade. Now, here's the equator, I think. Let's think this through. What's the recipe called for? It's going to be 2 in, 1 out. So we're going to build a rung of it. And yeah, how many are we reducing? Every 3 seconds, going to reduce 2. So 1 every 1.5 seconds. I'm going to worry less about the inputs now and just think about maximum output per belt. So if I have 10 of these every 3 seconds, it's going to produce 20. Hang on. Let's think this through. Pook's being bad at math again. 2 divided by 3 is 0.666 into infinity, right? And then, so clear that and go 30 divided by 0.67 means I can do 44 of these. Let's round down and say, well, 44.77 of these factories to fill up a full belt. But I can do 30 of these for a single input belt, I think. Hang on. Yeah, hang on. Because it's an import that'll stall us, I think. So I have 10 of them. It's going to do basically 10 a second. So 30. Rows of 30. Rows of 30 it is. That'll work. Because I don't want to do anything special with anything, really. I just want to be able to have a quick pattern that I can produce. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Huh. That was a lot longer than I thought it would be. um, I honestly wasn't expecting that much. Okay, that's okay though. We can just do this. I think I'll run my output back down that way. Like so. And then we're going to have a second input line here. Run it along. Okay. Then we'll set up our power to be on the top side. Like so. Hoping that this will cover all my requirements. Soon find out though. If not, it's alright, we'll work it out. Alright, and then sorters. So input, input, output. The recipe is that. Alright, we got a row of 30. Now, 30 is not enough, of course. Nowhere near enough for what we've got planned here. We are making the graphite factory to end all graphite factories. I keep saying graphite, I mean graphene. Sorry people. So, another row of 30. Another row of 30. Oh my god, he's going crazy. He's gonna do another row of 30. Sure if I'm getting out of hand now or not. What are we looking at in terms of... Trying to find my chemical factories. Have I used them all up now? I don't think so, unless I just perfectly did it. Possibly I did. Totally planned. Yep, that was totally planned. To use up the exact number of chemical plants that I brought with me. Yep, yep. Anyway, this will give us chunks and chunks of graphene. And also take up a whole heap of stuff. Because that recipe is going to need... what are we thinking here? 0.33. A third of a belt, basically. Yeah, it's going to need a lot. That's okay though. We have a whole planet full of acid. Well, maybe not full of acid, but we've come to the right place. It also means that I'm going to need an actual belt of graphite for each of one of these. So we're going to be making a whole heap of that, and America wants to invade. You know, given its coal production, maybe I should have just called it the Scott Morrison government. Just a local politics joke for anyone who's in Australia. And for anyone who's not around, you won't care. Unless, of course, you care about a planet, at which point, just hope they get voted out, guys. Just hope they get voted out. Here we go. Cool. That's looking pretty good. Now, what do we want? We want some interstellar transport. I have one here to accept all the outputs, and then we're going to have another here to accept everything else, or to bring in everything else, to accept everything else. Alright, so you're going to be demanding this stuff. We only want to do it locally. You're going to supply locally. You're also going to be want acid on a local demand basis, a remote storage basis. Alright, and then you are going to be remote supplying graphene. You'll want some of these remote demand. It's going to ship you 1,000 and that'll last you for ages. Okay. Let's get the outputs going in. Now, each of these is going to produce God knows how much. Really, I know it's not going to be a full belt, but it's going to probably start getting close to it. So we might just try and do something along the lines of this. We'll go up a level, just take it over so I don't have to deal with spaghetti later on. And yeah, that'll run everything in. Alright, the next thing that we want to do is our acid lines first. Hang on. Run acid out. Hey, that's not what I wanted to do. Then graphite out. Acid out again. And graphite out. Acid out. Graphite out. Acid out. Graphite out. acid out. And graphite out. Beautiful. And we'll start charging you up and start charging you up as well. Give you some dudes. Give you some dudes. Also dropping 200 of them. Or 100 of them, sorry, not 200. And yeah, thinking here. Pardon me. Got this acid production over here, right? 75 a minute. Pretty constant. We've got a backlog of acid and a buttload of acid, you could say as well. And you can go on local supply duties. No, you're not gonna. I said you're doing local command. Oh, yeah, still no power. Why no power? So we do that. Yeah, it's just not connected up. Hey, and we want a power pole there too to connect everything up. Cool. Now, min drones, a load of drones, 100%, right? Now start flooding the whole system with acid. Normally a thing that you want to avoid, flooding something with acid, but in this case, it's quite acceptable. The other thing we will do is put down you here to power you up, and ultimately you're going to be an acid supplier as well. You, local supply. Get that happening. Get that acid happening. And I'll need more of these. And I don't think I've actually been making them in my mall, so yeah, that'll be maybe a little problematic, but we will deal with that, people. We'll deal with it. Like champions we are. I say we. I'll deal with it and you'll cheer me on. Anyway, we have a little bit of acid there. Cool. From here, we need graphite because that's conspicuously empty. So we're going to go find America Wants to Invade. It's actually quite close by at this point in time. That's fantastic. We'll lift off into orbit and head there. Now it actually will be really good to be grabbing a whole heap of coal off this power and doing something in it, because my Bernie hydrogen situation on the other planet that I had to empty out and lose a whole heap of hydrogen really actually relies a fair bit on this planet doing stuff or burning power so it can be discharged here. And at the moment we're really not discharging all that much. So we've got all these batteries kind of all charged up with nowhere to go. What I might do is just supply a bit more into storage, maybe. A bit more, yeah, a bit more. Send that around. Because they'll be using more, so there'll be a bit more back throw, so to speak. Alright. Here we are. We want this coal. currently we're exporting some of it. That's fine. We're happy to keep doing that. But the rest of the coal, a good chunk of it. Yeah, we got coal reserves here. We got coal reserves here, here, and here. So, going to cause a small ecological disaster. Fill in some of this. Use the speckly approach again to conserve on using our foundations here. Saves us a whole ton of steel. Because I want this kind of space to be a big graphite factory. It's quite close to coal veins, and it'll just make things a little bit convenient for me. We missed a few bits. Alright, good thing we don't need water. Cool. Alright, so a local thing here. Yep, you can start exporting graphite. I'm good with that. And let's work out our factory before we put in our inputs. So it's production, and it is producing energetic graphite. So it's 2 every 2 seconds, or 1 a second here. So a full belt will need 30. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 15. Alright. Do 15, and then we could do another row of 15. Like so. Alright, so that's full belt in and out, I believe, or just in. That's a full belt in. And a half belt out. So let's pretend that everything's going to come from the right here, or the bottom for that orientation at the time. And then we're going to push it out this way as well. Alright, so we've got belts going in one direction. And we might do input, output, like so. Take that and drag it down. And then we'll put our power poles on the bottom. Like so. Grab this. Alright, so that's a full belt of graphite being produced there in terms of output, and 2 full belts of input. So we're going to do at least another 2. Realistically, we actually need more. But I'm just getting to the end here, so you know what? Let's do it. We didn't come here for a half measure. Alright, so that should be 1, 2, 3 pole belts out. That's where we're going to start. A soft Partially because I'm just a little bit concerned about time. How long have we got left? Yeah, 22 minutes, so. This will start us off. It won't finish us, probably, but it will start us off. Okay. Let's double check that though. Every 2 seconds I'm producing one, and I've got 30 of them. Yeah. We'll run you like so. Yep, that's good. Because that's my outputs. I'm out of sorters as well. Crap. I'll have to go back and grab more of them. That's alright. There's our 3 inputs, right? They can all run into the top. Yep, that'll work. Again, didn't think that was going to be perfect, but it just ended up that way, much like me. Kidding. Run along like that, and down and in. Cool. Yep, I have set you up. Good. We will just connect up some power here. Excellent. Now all it's waiting for is coal and a whole heap of sorters. Oh. Oh, that's trippy. But it does tell us what we need up there. Cool. Alright, now I could do normal things, but I'm just gonna go advanced miners because they're just so much easier than doing a whole heap of rotational bullshit. That's already taken this vote before. Right. There was one up there too, so either way. Like so. I think each one was going to be a full 30 per second as in terms of requirements. I'm hoping an advanced miner each will do it. I don't think it will. But a man can hope, can't he? Yeah, that's not it, but oh well. That'll get us started, okay? Another coal one up here, yeah. Here it is. Now output like so. 1, 2, 2 more. Comes autosave. It's a killer. Oh, here's one here. I'm also running low on power poles, I just saw. So best be careful with these, as much as possible. Make sure that we're connected to our grids. There we are. Time to run lower on belts too. Need one more input. Alright, where's some more coal? Down there. Are we gonna make it though? There's two considerations here. There's one power poles. There's two belts. Try not to destroy the natural environment as much as possible. May not be possible. Alright, so this is definitely going to need to be on this side. Hey, we can do it. Alright, and belt-wise, tell it to use the diagonals. Should conserve a few for us. Excellent. Alright, so we got that going for us. This massive graphite smelting factory is online. We'll be outposting 3 full things once we've got everything, all the parts in there. So what do we need? We needed solar plants and small sorters. And then yeah, we got to be doing system trapping happening here now as well. That's good. That's what we should see. So we'll head on back to Big Brain and Earth to pick up the stuff that we need. And I have to say, it is quite nice to be starting to do really big factories. And to be able to start plonking down really big factories really quickly as well. So previously, you know, these sort of factories would be the work of an episode or something. But now it's just, you know, all the materials are on hand. It's just a matter of kind of working out roughly what we need and then going from there. There we are, there's it's good to see this running properly as well. What are we doing here? We are picking up some things. We need some belts, we need some sorters. Sorters was not the thing I was thinking I would run out of. Also, I'm just thinking of upgrading these guys. Pardon me. Yeah, I need more power poles. Let me grab 3. I'm using a lot more now. I used a chunk of those. We needed solar plants, I believe. God knows what impact this has had on my power. Over there. Yeah, we should be pretty good in terms of what we need to fill in now. The other thing I wanted to look for is whether or not I'm producing water pumps. Yeah, it deliberately wasn't, and I think that may have been a mistake. That's a mole expansion that I don't want to do tonight, so I'm going to ignore it. How are we doing over here? We have stuff happening. That's nice. Oh, it's all the stuff we need there, definitely. We have not all of these working. Certainly using a lot of glass. Ooh, we are using a lot of glass. Like a lot more than expected. That's because our stone is not keeping up. Ah. Let's think about this. Start should be like that. For a second. What do I want to do? You'll continue to be a supplement. Instead, we're going to run another stone line out like that. Seconds producing 1. These are groups of 30. I think. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So 30. So every 2 seconds it's producing 15. Really didn't need these stackers, I don't think. Oops. Man, and I made a whole thing about that. Oops, oops, oops. Oh well. That will help our supply system for glass, because I'm pretty sure that's supplying over here. somewhere. There, this guy here. You're supplying with glass. You're starting to run out glass. And you're supplying out prisms alongside this chunk here. We're using lots of prisms because we're producing lots of solar sails. Yeah, alright. But otherwise, where I was actually looking was seeing how our planar filters are going. Not using at full capacity, which obviously means that these guys are not yet at full capacity either. Yeah, because you have a lack of Casimir crystals. Certainly we've got a much faster flow rate on quantum chips. Not running out of anything else as far as I can tell. At a glance, I mean. In fact, it's full on planar filters now, I think. Ah, yeah, only some of them. So this group here is running. Okay. Alright, let's head back to Murphak. First back to American it wants to invade, and then we'll go back to Acid Land. Finish off these bits and pieces, and then we'll have another upgrade going. Pretty soon, I think we'll have actually finished our first Dyson Sphere. It's getting closer and closer, which means, of course, that we will be looking to set up our second, which is kind of exciting. Second Dyson Sphere. Ah. Yeah, totally planned again. Excellent. Graphite underway. Now let's head back to Acid Land. Keep forgetting to have to, you actually have to accelerate up. As opposed to, tap a button and phew, you're in warp speed. Kaplunk. And yeah, it's working. It's working. That's what we want to see. Drones are doing their thing too. Yeah, so our limiting factor seems to be definitely graphite at the moment. A lot of it's pending. It's all flooding in here to supply, so that's fantastic. power here actually. Yeah, 100% satisfaction. Cool. But we should have taken a big chunk out of our reserves as a result of this. Not doing badly. Not doing terrible. Probably something we want to watch, though. We so long, these factories. Cool. All right. So we have probably overkilled our. Yeah, here we go. We have too much. We don't need this much. And there's the alarm. Alright, that was a 1 hour production of how to ramp up your graphene production beyond belief. Okay, so what are we gonna do in the next episode? If you're not familiar with my streams already, I do always like to have a bit of a plan. Sometimes I even remember them. In terms of what we're going to do in each episode. Now, what I'm quite happy to see here is a little back and forth in terms of battery supply. I think that's potentially a chipping in power, which means we're now using power and America wants to evade. I think what we're going to spend a little bit of time on, not heaps in the next episode, is just testing to see how that setup is actually really working. You know, are we providing enough power for what we're now drawing on? Or are we going to have problems? I just realized that you can, without really thinking about it, that you can use warp just in planetary systems to make that a lot faster. Huh. Yeah, so we want to know what this... Yeah, we're at 100% satisfaction, but we're draining a whole heap more. So the question is our power circuit here going to keep up with the supply of batteries to make it worthwhile? We've got 40 in transit at the moment coming in. And we've just chucked 1,000 out. So yeah, next episode we're going to have a look at that, make sure that that's going to keep up with our supply needs, or power supply needs in this, and it should also be helping with our hydrogen burning situation over here at Fire Ice, which will be good, and it means I don't have to chuck out a whole heap of it all the time. That'd be nice, that'd be great, that it would be grand. We're also going to go back and see if we can expand out our antimatter production somewhat. We might even start looking at producing additional Dyson swarms in other systems, just to kind of boost that up and ramp it up so that we can work on these universe matrices, the white science, and, you know, start progressing down so that we could potentially do the mission complete. I don't know if that's actually going to end my playthrough, and I really don't want it to do, but so we'll certainly be doing that eventually. But we want to do that. We'll get the extra construction zones, which will be really helpful on our mega builds that we're starting to do. The extra energy circuit will always be nice. Basically means that I should be able to like constantly fly around and warp without too much issue. This drone flight speed, of course, will always be welcome. Extra warp speed, always good. Less time in transit. Ray transmission efficiency, yeah, that'll be handy. Logistics carry. There's extra white sciencey stuff to be done here, which we should be doing, as well as the logistics, integrated logistics. That would just be lovely to improve our logistics towers. Yeah, so I think that's the next episode. We're going to be playing around with those things. I'm not going to promise a factory because I'm not sure what I really need to expand out yet. But we'll be messing about with power and antimatter. You know, and what more could you ask for? Anyway, my name is Pooks. I hope you enjoyed the stream. If you did enjoy the stream, drop me a follow, drop me a like or a subscribe if you're watching later on YouTube. Otherwise, thank you very much for watching. Robot says thank you. You know, we'll frame him. Yeah, no, that's bad. Yeah, Robot from Hawaii says thank you. And I will see you in the next episode. Thanks again.